When did your dad's happiness come at the cost of your own? I have the opposite of daddy issues. My father is such an amazing man that it tricked me into thinking every man was great. When I was a child and he only had enough change in his pocket for one of us to get ice cream, he always let me have it. And whenever he saw me crying over a bad report card or dumb friend group drama, he would literally take the day off work to take me to my favorite diner and order practically every dessert on the menu. And it's for this reason that he only started seeing someone new when I was 16, because he never wanted me to be confused about who my mom was. Needless to say, I was super happy for him. In just their first month of dating, she bought him flowers, and he was coming home every day from work with an extra big smile on his face. He was practically beaming. And it wasn't until I finally finished high school that I was allowed to meet her. She spoke softly, and I got the impression that she was the type of woman any man other than my father would take advantage of. Very kind. We were sitting at the kitchen table with 2 beautiful plates of homemade pizza when I realized just how wrong I was. Halfway through the meal, my dad went to the bathroom. Suddenly, Catherine put 3 of my slices back on the table. Your metabolism isn't going to last forever. You'll thank me when you're older. I was so stunned that I didn't even have a chance to reply. And when my dad returned, neither of us mentioned what had just happened. I was going to tell him when she left, but as soon as the door closed, he began singing her praises. Isn't she just the best? I'm thinking of proposing to her soon. What do you think, darling? His joy was practically lighting up the entire room. I couldn't be the one to put it out. Yep, she's great. A few days later, I woke up to him hitting me with a surprise. It was a leaflet for a holiday in Miami. Honey, there's a huge discount for this resort in Miami. I was thinking the 3 of us go. You, me, and Catherine? A cold dread instantly filled my stomach. But no, you and that crazy beach can count me out. I wanted to yell, but instead I plastered on a huge smile and said, of course I'm down. He then sat on the edge of my bed and booked it right there on his phone. I decided to make the most of the trip and packed all my summer clothes. Tube tops, linen pants, shorts, you know the drill. When we got there, the sunlight instantly entered my bones and I swear I felt like I had popped a Emily or something. Me and Catherine were lying on the sunbeds when I felt it. A pinch on my upper arm. Darling, you look like a beluga whale, Catherine said with disgust. She proceeded to take my tray of food and throw it out. If you want the boys to like you, you can't just be a greedy W word. My face flushed with heat, but this time it wasn't from the sun. It was embarrassment. Was I really that fat? Immediately, I felt an overwhelming urge to hide my body from the world so they wouldn't have to see how ugly I was. And I guess she noticed because she handed me a towel and told me to cover up. I guess 18-year-old girls really are impressionable. Because I spent the rest of the weekend either fasting or pretending to eat in front of my dad so he wouldn't worry. Catherine would praise me for this and tell me that soon I could look like her. Even after the trip was over, I kept under-eating, and 3 weeks later I looked in the mirror and saw my face had drained of color. Hair was falling out. I could barely stand without feeling like I was going to collapse. And as I did my daily body check, my dad walked in. Honey, what the F did you do? He cried out with tears in his eyes. Have you not been eating? You look so pale, baby. At that point, I was so hungry I could barely think about anything other than food, let alone keep a secret. So I said the first thing that came to my head. Catherine told me that I should lose weight. I said it casually, unaware of what would come next. What? My dad's voice shifted. It had turned into something scarier, an anger I had never heard before. He didn't say anything else, just carried me to the kitchen and cooked me my favorite meal, homemade chicken Alfredo. As I ate, I realized how dumb I'd been and vowed to myself to never punish my body again. Suddenly, my dad's voice erupted through the walls. This was the first time I had heard him raise his voice at anyone. When he returned, his face was bright red with anger, and I discovered Catherine was the source of his fury. We broke up, he said. Wait, Dad, I don't think she meant to hurt me. It's not your fault, he interrupted my guilty explanation. She's an adult, and she should have known better. He then sat beside me and we spent the rest of the day watching Vampire Diaries, my comfort show, together, so I was right beside him when he got the text. It was a photo from Catherine, an ultrasound. It's yours, and we can either get back together or you can say goodbye to your future baby. The rest of the full story is on my channel and linked below.